Before we continue our conversations from all of us here at Tobago Updates, we want to say a hearty congratulations to the newly appointed Senior Superintendent, Mr. Rohdill Kirk. Good morning, sir, and again, congratulations.
Good morning, Shenell. Good morning, Tobago, and thank you for your congratulations.
Okay, so with the current situation that we're seeing here in Tobago for 2024, we are speculating that your appointment comes as a means of fighting against the crime that we are seeing escalating in Tobago. So, right as we get into it, some of your plans to combat what we have been seeing in terms of the crime escalation here in the island.
Well, again, our mandate is to make every place safe throughout Trinidad and Tobago. More so, I am within the Tobago space. So the aim and objective is to, create that, have the police the island so that, our citizens could feel safe. What we have seen, and this is unprecedented over when in comparison to the last couple of years, we have seen an uptick in violent crimes, more so shootings and woundings in terms of, and robberies. We have seen that. Even our murders, we are now at number 9. Notwithstanding that, I know that our officers have been out there. We have been on the ground. We have engaged in a lot of anti-crime measures so far. You will see it started in the week and you will see it continuing. The positive that I can report is that one of the murders which occurred in March, we have a suspect now in custody, and it is likely that consultation would be done. So it is likely that something positive will come out of it. In respect to the shootings which occurred in Speyside a couple of weeks ago, we also have suspects in custody, and we are confident that persons would be charged. There may be some good news before the end of the day. Last night's incident was a bit fortunate, I can see, because even just right after the police left the area, the incident occurred. And it tells me something. I know our police have so far gathered some intelligence which we are working on. It's not what we can reveal to the public, but in situations like these, I sometimes ask the public to just be patient, because the police investigation is not always about speed. So sometimes we don't give away accuracy for speed. We need to get it right. What we recognize as well, that the weapon of choice was a high-powered weapon, looking at the spent shells that were recovered. So we are seeing that trend throughout the island, and we are asking our members of the public to be more vigilant in terms of when they are out socializing. It can't be business as usual, right? The police alone can't do it, and we need also the people to police their area. So this is something that we are going to do in our outreach. We are going to have that consultation with the public as to how we can police your community, and we will have suggestions and have that interaction, come up with the best solution with how we can treat with police in the communities. More so Plymouth, which you realize that in less than 2 weeks, we have 2 major incidents happening in that area.
Now, what do you say to members of the public who have questions or have been speculating that this murder that occurred last night is related to the murder that happened a couple of days ago in Plymouth?
I cannot confirm or deny, because the police operate on evidence, and the police don't just go by hearsay. So our intelligence suggested some things, but it's not that we can directly see that something is connected to it. But we are going to explore all possibilities based on the intelligence that is coming in. And, we can't confirm to say, well, okay, yes, it is related to that. No, because we don't have the evidence at hand to see that.
What is the TTPS in Tobago doing to restore public confidence?
Right, and you would have seen that we had engaged with our community stakeholders, our station councils. We had done a lot of community walkabouts as recent as even last week, and we are engaging in town meetings so that we go to the people. As I say, we are directly engaging with the communities so that we can come up with solutions to issues within the community. So those are some of our initiatives going forward. You would see that we have increased our direct patrols in those areas that are prone to those issues of shooting. You have seen, we have done all of that. We have uptick our exercises on the ports. We have uptick our exercises on the roadways. However, the police can't be omnipresent. So we still have a lot to depend on members of the community in order to have that information directly channeled to us so that we can act or respond quickly whenever there's a situation. But we are trying all the preventative measures. However, as I indicated, we can't be omnipresent, but we are doing our best.
Just a few days ago, the Minister for National Security, Mr. Fitzgerald Hines, stated that the crime situation that we're seeing in Tobago is directly correlated to the gang violence that's happening in Trinidad. Can you confirm this?
I can't confirm exactly what the minister is saying. Though there are some elements, yes, could suggest it. You know, the minister may have his information from a different source. I would have information from a different source. But at the same time, yes, there may be some elements of it, but to say or to repeat after the minister, I won't engage in that. I would, based on the intelligence I have, yes, there is some correlation, but to totally say, well, okay, all of it is in respect to that, no, I can't say that.
In regards to your new appointment, there has been a public consensus in the past that most head of police, they come in with the right intentions, they come in with passion, fervency, and a vision for change, but they end up getting comfortable and just becoming relaxed. What is your strategy to ensure that the vision that you come in with, you maintain it throughout your tenure as superintendent?
Well, I don't know I don't have any empirical data to suggest the issue that you just raised. You see, what we operate based on our policies and mandates given to us. And the main thing is to minimize, the occurrence of crimes or try to prevent crime. And to prevent and also to detect crime. So we are going to be focused on doing that, exactly, the basics, right? We are going to make sure that our persons in charge of investigations pursue it, relentlessly. That is what we aim to do. We aim to put boots on the ground so that we can prevent, because the police, I don't want people to look at the police that we are just there to lock up. We are going to engage all the stakeholders and we are going to use all our resources, whether it be to engage the youths, to do that through our youth clubs, through all those community engagements, activities. We need to be different, and it's not just about being relaxed. People tend to see the police as being relaxed, but no one knows the challenges that we face as well. We don't have that magic wand to just wave and make everything right. So it's a work in progress. I know persons, would like to see certain things, as quickly as possible. But what I want to assure the public is that, I can't do it alone. So I must first do that assessment with the people I work with. And we will have those consultations going forward with the internal agencies, the external agencies, and even you, the media. We have to use different strategies in terms of how we treat with criminal investigations and crime and criminality on the island. And that is what I intend to do.
Excellent. Now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on the beautiful island of Tobago on Tobago Updates. Now, we have been chatting with the newly appointed Senior Superintendent, Mr. Rohdill Kirk, and we have been talking about crime and violence on the island of Tobago, his new appointment, some of his visions and ideas for fighting crime in Tobago, and some of his strategies moving forward to assist in restoring public confidence in the police service. Now, one of the things that you would have indicated before we went off to the break is that From the crime scene last night, the spent shells that were left on the scene indicated the use of a high-powered rifle. Is it that we're seeing an uptick in the amount of high-powered weaponry in Tobago?
And whilst I may not want to comment, yes, that is the trend we have noticed. Again, I have said on another platform that I believe it's time for us, the public, to fight back, or fight back with the police. Because we have seen, what I've said is that, people tend to highlight when the police are out doing what we do. And yet people don't highlight what the criminals are doing when they do. So I urge, it's a simple thing that could happen, Let us put the spotlight on the criminals. So when we see somebody suspicious driving up and down in your village, call us. I assure you that we will act, and we will act decisively. So this is what, we are seeing it, and I know the criminals won't just walk around with it on the roadway. They have to move around in vehicles. I want to tell people to get away from the idea that when you see police doing road checks or stop and search, it's only just for traffic purposes or to issue tickets. That is not what we are about, right? So I just want the public, sometimes you may be inconvenienced, but you yourself have a role to play with your safety as well, not just the police.
Right. In Trinidad recently, specifically in the Tunapuna Regional Corporation, we saw that there were some illegal CCTV cameras that were placed on TNTech light poles that was assumed to be planted there by criminal elements. However, in Tobago, that's not something that we have seen. But we see a trend now where a lot of persons have cameras on their homes, on their personal properties. Do you encourage persons to get those cameras as it may be able to assist the police with their investigations when crime occurs on the island?
That is something we do all the time. We ask people to be a harder target. We ask people to protect your space. So we have seen it worked in the past. We have to take advantage of the use of technology, right? Because as you indicated rightfully, that the criminals are making use of the technology to assist them in their undertakings on a daily basis. So we could fight back by doing that. And this is a thing that we always, when we walk about, we encourage business people to do it. We encourage private homeowners to do it. Because sometimes that makes the difference in terms of whether the investigation may turn out to be a success, because your eyes can't see everything, and that in itself would, have things of evidential value to assist the police in their investigation. So yes, it's one of the positives, is one of the things that we always encourage. Get cameras in your space as well, and we just can't rely on what the government or who will put up on the roadways.
As a senior superintendent, do you intend to maybe lobby at the central government level to have those, taxes removed on importation of these surveillance devices for residential properties in order to continue to push the mandate of residents equipping themselves to assist in the fight against crime? Well,
considering that you raised it, I think this platform or the media is the rightful entity in order to do that. I cannot engage in that kind of debate in terms of what I think the government should do. But I think it's something that should be encouraged, where people go out and acquire these things. So the media is the correct place to make such representation on behalf of the people in terms of that, because this is what we, the police, we could only encourage to so far, is just to lend advice. Right. But in terms of government policy and government issues, we cannot comment on that.
So it is not the place of the police commissioner to make these type of recommendations?
Well, again, I cannot speak for the commissioner of police, but in terms of from where I sit, it's not one for me to lead to that direction. I could only, my personal opinion, I could keep to myself, but at the same time, I can't see what the commissioner, should
But
do.
it is a strategy that can assist with the fight against crime. So is it not a part of the duty of the Police Service Commission to recommend areas that they believe can assist with that battle to the government?
The Police Service Commission. That is what you.
No, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Oh, the police, right. Well, the police from time to time will make recommendation in terms of, geared towards new legislation. The anti-gang was one. There are other legislation in which the police would make recommendation based because the police are the foot soldiers on the ground. But that is as far as we can do, make recommendations via our commissioner, yes. But it's not to say that, it's something that, we must be done, even self. You understand? That is a choice of the commissioner. When things are happening, they could make recommendation. I think the Bail Act was one of the things that the police had consultation with the minister, etc. So those are things that, we can do, but it's not something that at this level I can do.
Okay, right? Totally understood. Now, let's look at the appointment of this, or I should say the extension of the current police commissioner. Now, this was done at the parliamentary level and it was announced just a couple of days ago. However, the correct procedure would have been for the Police Service Commission to appoint an acting commissioner of police while the Police Service Commission does their due process to appoint a new commissioner of police. Do you think that has had any negative impact on the morale of the police service, the way how this extension was done by the parliament?
First of all, let me extend congratulations to the Commissioner of Police on her, extension. But in terms of anything in relation to appointment of the Commissioner extension, that is not something that I can comment on. I haven't seen the evidence. I haven't heard anyone within the organization talk anything about a negative impact. We have been supporting the Commissioner, and we will continue to support the Commissioner of Police. I have not, heard any negative impact about it. I think that, going forward, we can only just try to work with all hands on deck to make sure that we police Trinidad and Tobago.
However, the lead up to my question, I would have indicated a process. Is that indeed the process?
Well, I am saying that the appointment of Commissioner of Police, that is something up to the Police Service Commission and Parliament. So I cannot say as to whether the process was the right thing or I can't speak on that.
Excellent.
Right?
And we're going to touch a little bit on the introduction of technology. As we know, the world is moving straight towards open AI, AI-generated technologies, and the inclusion of AI in a number of areas, whether it be business, health. How is this technology, if at all, being implemented into the police service in Trinidad and Tobago? But before you answer that, we see even in the US where they have robotic police dogs in New York, in the NYPD. So in relation to ideas for technology and the inclusion of artificial intelligence in policing, where are we as a country?
Well, again, it's a wide question that, because to use any new technology, or AI has been around for quite a while, but to use any within an organization, that is something that has to come from the executive level. Because things are not just being implemented in the service just like that. There must be policies from the executive and directive coming down, filtering down to the to be operationalized. Just like when you had the body-worn cameras, before that is happening, it must have legislative issues with it, and then it will trickle down based on policies from the executive. So I cannot speak or comment on where the police service is in respect to artificial intelligence, but I know as society changes, we will adopt other technologies in terms of working within the institution. So that change is constant, and we know and we anticipate that changes will be made. But for now, I am guided by whatever policies come down from the executive level to be operationalized within my division and within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Do you have the power to suggest or implement any of these technologies in your strategy to combat crime in Tobago?
We use what is available to us, right? And we do make recommendations whilst we operate. But at the same time, again, in order to actually use certain things, that must come down from policies. Right. It's not just that because I am the senior superintendent, I could just use this. No, because we had to look at the impact going forward, whether in fact it would assist in terms of evidential value going forward. We can't just use things that are not in keeping or in alignment with our mandate.
Excellent. Now, just as the use of CCTV cameras by who we suggest to be criminal elements in Trinidad, we see that the criminals are advanced. They are adept with the technology. So do you think that by stalling or waiting to implement these technologies, that we are allowing criminal elements to have a head start over the police?
No, I wouldn't say that we are waiting. No. The police service have been using technology for quite some time. It may not be on the scale that one would anticipate, but we have, even though we haven't gotten there yet, we are on our way to get there. So I'm not saying that we don't use it. I'm saying because of the now easily accessible, how criminals could easily access these things, or people in general, you may find people using different technology in terms of assisting them in the illegal activities. Yes, we can't get away from that. But I'm not saying that the police don't use technology. We do, right? It's just that you may not be aware, or you may not see it on a large scale, or the scale in which you would like to see it, because they are specialized units that will treat with certain type of technologies. So I can only speak to that, right? And I think always with changing society, we need to change with the times as well. So it's something that will happen. It's a work in progress.
Excellent. And what words of encouragement do you have for members of the TTPS in Tobago as a new senior superintendent to help them to stay the course?
Now, the thing about it is that, the speed of the leader, the speed of the pack. It's not about me and them. We all will have to work together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. And this is how we are going to approach things going forward. We have a wonderful team now put together in terms of the executive of the Tobago arm of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And, we share wonderful ideas that we put together that we are going to implement going forward so that we could police the island. All I am asking is for the public cooperation. All I am asking is that for the public to be rest assured or be aware that we are working to ensure your safety. And we are going to return this island to what it used to be in terms of feeling safe to go out. Yes, it wouldn't happen overnight, but rest assured, this is what we are going to do going forward. I think we have the right team in place to treat with that. And let me take this opportunity to also thank our outgoing Senior Superintendent, Mr. Michael Jackman. Thanks for his service for the past 18 months that he was in charge of Tobago Division. I wish him well in his new assignment. But going forward, with this team that we put together, we are going to ensure that we have that level of safety and security on the island so that we could start restoring the public confidence in the way in which we do business as police officers in the Tobago space.
Excellent. And finally, this upsurge in crime on the island must have been having a negative impact on the mental well-being of the officers that are dealing with the crime, especially seeing that a lot of the crimes have not yet been solved, thus diminishing the confidence of the public in the police service on the island. Now, my question to you is, what are you doing, or what is the police service doing to help these officers to deal with some of the trauma and have that balance of mental well-being moving forward?
Well, first of all, let me say that it's not that most of the crimes are not being solved. From where I sit, I see the statistics daily. We may have some crimes that are slow in terms of our violent crimes, such as some of the shootings, some of them. Because when I started the program, I told you that we have persons to appear in court for some of the previous shootings. So, as always, we have systems in place. We have our victim and witness support. We have our police social work unit. We have our police medical team in Tobago. Just yesterday, I had a meeting with them, and there were suggestions with how we go forward in terms of treating with officers' well-being. Part of one of our strategic pillars deal with health and wellness, and that is something we encourage with our police officers. So there are systems in place for checks and balances. So whenever we identify an issue, we make recommendations, and the persons work alongside our social work unit and our medical team. They make recommendations in terms of how to treat with these, whether it be mental health issues or other issues, and we usually go along with it. So the systems are there, right, and we utilize them. So we don't have any issues when it comes to our police officers in terms of treating with their issues. That is also there.
Excellent. Well, it's good to know that you are paying attention to the mental well-being of your officers and their holistic development. Guys, we want to thank you for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting. Thank you for joining the discourse. Thank you again, Superintendent, for being here with us this morning. And again, we want to thank you, the viewers, for making Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster on the island of Tobago. And again, congratulations to you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me this morning.
All right, guys. See you again tomorrow.